America, fuck yeah, here to save the motherfucking day, yeah. I'm Adam.
I'm Dustin.
And you're listening to a bit of the Ultraviolence.
Cue that fucking awesome American music.
Cue that music, cause America.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a day after the 4th,
Yeah,
so
man.
I figured I'd go patriotic with it.
I loved it. I loved
Well,
it.
sarcastic and
Oh,
patriotic.
yeah, for real, yeah.
Oh, all right. How you doing, Dustin?
Doing good.
How was your holiday weekend?
Filled with like sitting around, so that was nice.
It sounds like a good holiday weekend. Mine was similar.
Yeah, like nobody had any 4th of July plans going on, so I sat around like all day. I went and hung out with Marty, Marty for a little bit, and then went back and played video games that night. So
Not bad.
yeah, it was a good night.
I had a family party Saturday. Well, I had a
nice.
gig Friday. I had a family party Saturday, and then I just kind of slept all day yesterday
Hell
and
yeah.
didn't do much.
Fuck yeah,
It
man.
was nice.
Yeah.
No work today.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
same. Yeah,
We're
it was
recording this on the 5th of
nice.
July.
Yeah, man.
It's actually fitting because Jaws takes place around the 4th.
Yeah, no, for real.
It's kind of like the only, I don't want to say the only 4th of July horror movie. I guess there's the Uncle Sam horror movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's
I
called.
don't know
It
what
might
it's called
just be
either,
called
yeah.
Uncle Sam. But
Probably.
anyway, that's what we're recording today, Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get into that, we can plug the social medias. If you'd like to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, we are at A Bit of the Ultraviolence.
We are on Twitter at A Bit of the Ultra One.
And if you'd like to send us an email, abitoftheultraviolence@gmail.com. And if you're on a platform that allows you to rate us, leave a review, feel free to do that.
Yeah.
Or, tell your friends.
Yeah, really.
Be like, hey, this is sweet. Check it out.
Exactly. Check this out, man. Yeah, no.
Or don't, either way. I
No,
don't
either way. Yeah, no, for real. I don't really care what you do with your life.
Yeah.
Your life.
Yeah, that's true.
But please tell people about us.
But yes, please do that. All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, we are going to slide over to the news desk for a very special 4th of July edition of the... No, it's not really a 4th of July. Just,
No.
this is the panic
Yeah, I
in
was
your
gonna
face.
say, I'm like, I have no patriotic news at all.
Anyway, we're
Not
gonna
even a war
slide.
movie.
We're gonna slide over the news desk for news anchor Dustin to bring you all sorts of news. So it is breaking Ultra News. Take it away, Dustin.
Good evening, folks. Hello, Adam.
That was smooth, smooth as always.
So F9 kept the top fucking box office spot over the weekend. somehow.
Family. The F is for family.
Dude, for real. Dude, for real. These memes are killing me. By
Oh,
the
the
way.
memes are amazing.
They're
All the
incredible.
family memes are great.
T-Rexes are strong. Family's stronger. I was laughing so I'm like, damn, even the dinosaur pages I follow it. But yeah, it had $70 million debut. Added $24 million over this weekend to it. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. Making a lot of money for something that really, really should not be. I mean, they used to dog on Jason Voorhees like Friday the 13th for getting so deep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Legend coming in with a theatrical and director's cut DVD Blu-ray special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Available
There's no
September
family in
28th.
Legend.
No, there is not. No. There is absolutely zero family in Legend, which is okay. But
That was the one with Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and the
Mia-
devil.
I don't remember who the lady is. Anyway,
I don't remember
But yeah,
either.
Tim Curry is the devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I didn't write out what the special features were because there was like 9 million of them, but there was some actually fairly cool stuff on there.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah. No, and if anybody's a Legend fan, it looks like they had a lot of cool art, like on the actual product. So
All 3 Legend fans out
yeah,
there?
exactly, all 6 of them. Edgar Wright, Last Night in Soho got moved to October 29th now.
You know why?
No,
Because there's no family.
No, oh my god. There's no family in Last Night in Soho. No, so yeah, that got moved, but don't fret, it's only a week later, and it's
All
right
right.
before Christmas, or right before Halloween, so
Sweet.
be a nice Halloween date night movie.
Check that out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Maybe we could check it out together.
Halloween date night, or just, me on my couch by myself.
Yeah, that could be it too.
That works as well.
There's a Slumber Party Massacre reimagining coming from Shout Studios. And by reimagining, apparently they really aren't planning on changing anything except what the killer is
There's not really any reimagining.
No.
It's just girls at a party getting killed.
No, I know. And the article specifically like makes fun of the fact that the only thing different is what type of killer it is almost.
You know what reimagining they're going to do? They're going to add family.
Oh, I hope so. Dom shows up.
Killers are strong, but not stronger than family.
How you doing, cousin? Like, you know, he did, dude. They just start tying Fast 9 into everything. I mean, for fuck's sake, his brother's John Cena at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that should be. I don't know. Like anybody that likes old slasher films, I'm always interested.
I'll check it out, but I mean,
like,
it seems unnecessary at this point.
Unnecessary, very unnecessary. Elizabeth Banks has a movie called Cocaine Bear coming out.
I've heard of this.
Has Kerry Russell, Ray Liotta, O'Shea Jackson. The thing I loved about this, it says it's a truth stranger than fiction story. So like,
well, I'm sure they embellished quite a bit for the movie, but it's actually based on like a bear. It was in the 80s, I think. Got into like this shit ton of cocaine and went crazy, and then had a heart attack or something.
No, for real. And I like,
ate all the cocaine.
Oh, Yogi.
Yeah.
Fuck it. No, but
that's a different cartoon.
For real. But we were talking about those true stories that are never true stories. I just thought that was a funny little one there. But moving on to happy birthdays, we got RZA turning 52 today.
The motherfucking RZA.
Yeah, RZA, man, turning 52. Eddie Falco, Nurse Jackie, she's turning 58. Still looks good from the picture they had up there. So, of course, that could be from 13 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
But Claudia Wells turning 55.
I don't know who that is.
Claudia Wells. Here's the thing. I followed her on Facebook, and she's a big. Oh, you know what it is? She's the mom from Back to the Future. That's what it was. Claudia Wells plays the mom from Back to the Future. Or wait. That's not right.
That's Leah Thompson.
No. No, like, or not the mom, the Jennifer, his girlfriend.
Oh, she replaced Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah, I believe so.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
That makes sense.
So,
like, that's not right
I
at
know.
all, Dustin.
I'm all over the place with that. So
Come on.
So yeah, Claudia Wells, 55, and then Huey fucking Lewis turned 71 today.
That's the power of love.
So and rest in peace to Richard Donner. So
yeah, just died.
Yeah, I know. Jacques sent me a text on the way over. So thank you, Jacques.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
R.I.P. Richard Donner.
Yeah, for real. So that wraps up the birthdays, and
all right,
moving over to Adam.
Yeah, the movie corner. I wasn't going to review this, but then I didn't watch anything else new, so I'm going to review it today. Now, awesome. It's George Romero's The Amusement Park.
Oh, okay.
On Shudder.
Okay.
Which, there's a lot of hype for this, because it was like, Lost Romero project.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's terrifying. And it's worth a watch. It kind of just made me sad.
Okay.
Because it's not even a full movie. It's like an hour long, and it's basically a piece about elder abuse.
Huh.
And the amusement park is like this place that this old guy is lost in. It's almost like a bad acid trip.
Wow.
And it's got a lot of socio-economic, obvious symbolism in it.
Okay,
and, it's sort of like a societal statement. And it's bizarre and it's off-putting. But terrifying might not be the...
No, yeah.
I think that was just people like, it's more terrifying than anything because it's, whatever.
Just sticking George Romero's name on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's worth a watch. Like I said, it's not a feel-good thing. You're not going to feel great after you watch it because it's pretty sad.
You feel like it should have stayed lost?
No, it's worth watching. It's just I expected like something scary.
Yeah.
And it was scary in a sense, but more like a...
More scared of how many times you cry during it?
It's more uncomfortable than scary. But I'd recommend watching it. I'd give it I don't know, let's just say 70%.
Fair.
Like I said, it's not an actual movie. It's more like a educational piece.
Okay.
I don't know if it's meant to be taken seriously or not. It probably should be because it's sort of it's kind of heartbreaking in a sense. But it's about elder abuse basically. But it's all like allegorical. So it leaves you feeling not great at the end. But it's worth a watch. I'd check it out.
Do you think this might happen to George Romero in real life one day? Old and just wandering around.
Isn't George Romero dead?
Did he die? I don't know.
Probably.
I don't keep up with my George Romero news. I barely keep up with this news, so
that's a fair point. Yeah, it's exclusively on Shudder too. Okay. So if you don't have Shudder, well, first of all, get Shudder, not just for this, but just for in general, because Shudder's awesome.
It is.
But yeah, it's worth a watch. I'd check it out. It's just it wasn't what I expected.
Okay, fair.
But it did leave me feeling bummed at the end. I was like, well, that was something. I feel great now.
See, that's it. Oh, man. It's like some of the deaths in this movie.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, that is Breaking Ultra News. All right, moving on to the task at hand. This is a special episode because we're talking about Jaws, which happens to be my favorite movie. And has been since I was probably 5 or 6, which might explain a lot about me personally.
I'm starting to see it.
Yeah, you don't say. Why I was watching Jaws when I was 5 or 6, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, we all get our hands on cassette tapes at a certain point.
Well, no, my mom would just put it on because I loved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I would watch it all the time.
Well, I mean, the movie Airplane has bare... full-on exposed titties in the middle of the screen during when the plane starts going down. So
I don't remember that.
That's only PG.
It's been a long time. Well, this is PG too.
I'm saying, I put it at the video store, and I'm like, okay, and then the plane's going down, and some lady with her breast starts running across the screen. I'm like, well, I guess I better take this out. I don't know what's in here.
Well, it's interesting. It's I feel like it's a distinctly American thing because my parents were really strict with what I watched growing up, but it more so focused along like swearing and sex scenes. Like violence was 100%. Just like whatever.
Oh, really?
I mean, that's every show in the 80s we watched with the A-Team and everything.
Yeah,
it was all
real.
I mean, nobody got shot in the A-Team. They all just shot at the ground and then everybody surrendered. But I mean, it's still war shit, guns and explosions and shit like that. This is a giant shark eating people gruesomely, and it's like 5-year-old me was like, they don't swear that much. And, there's no sex in it, so fuck it, put it on.
That's why I think that's why my nephew was watching Sharknado so much. Like my sister was just like, well, there's no real sex or anything in this, so and it's outlandish, but I mean, there's still sharks eating people at the end of the day. So
yeah, I feel like that's less impactful because Jaws is a scary fucking movie.
I'm telling you right now, the scenes like. I didn't realize, like, when they actually show the shark in this, it is the angles they go at, and it is terrifying.
Yeah. This was there's 4 main movies that crafted my childhood, and subsequently my adulthood, I suppose.
Fair.
It's this, there's The Monster Squad, which I watched about 1 million times.
Fair.
There's Spaceballs.
Okay.
Which I also watched about 1 million times, which I should not have been watching that young, probably, but
maybe not.
I was.
Still.
And there was a movie called Disorderlies that starred the Fat Boys.
Yeah, Fat Boys, man. Yeah, man.
Which is a really obscure movie that I don't think anybody else actually remembers, but I've seen it about 300 times.
Let me tell you, I put this on cable like probably 1.5 years ago. I was just watching it. I'm like, wow, that is really 90s.
Yeah. And so it's those 4 movies. And then, the other ones, like Back to the Future, I watched a bunch. And, the typical stuff. But it was those 4 movies in specific, which were like my favorite movies.
Fair.
And that sort of kind of explains a lot, I think.
No, for real. I mean, I'd say probably Predator, Police Academy, and... I had to go Jurassic Park. That'd probably be the top 3 that really, like you're saying though, like Indiana Jones and Back to the Future, everybody really watched, but like, those 3 were like,
well, see, I couldn't watch Predator because they swore too much.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Fair.
So I didn't see Predator. I'm talking like,
yeah,
between the ages of like 5 and 8.
Okay.
Those were my favorite movies.
So you weren't putting them in, your parents were basically.
Those were the movies that I would beg my parents to pop in so I could watch and they could, not tend to me for a while.
I remember there was one movie called Waltz Across Texas, which is not anything I'd watch. But my dad was like, oh yeah, there's a dinosaur in it. So like I just kept sitting there waiting for the dinosaur while he watched his movie. But man. Anyway, keep going.
So anyway, I've seen Jaws about 800 times. It's been my favorite movie since I can remember. So I'm pretty excited for today. What was your relationship with the movie Jaws, Dustin? You didn't really watch it that much, did you?
So I watched it when I was young. And after that, this last viewing for the podcast here was the last time. For some reason, it's never really been on TV when I'm watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never been a movie where people are like, hey, let's put in Jaws. Like, it never. So, yeah. I remember the beginning because that's something that's just ingrained in everybody. But other than that, I'm watching it and I'm like, this is way fucking more gruesome than I remember.
And it's really not even that gruesome.
No.
I mean, there's certain parts.
But the deaths are some of those deaths, man. It's such a well put together film. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite films of all time, obviously, and I think it's one of the best movies ever made.
100%.
In my opinion. And we'll get through all the directors and actors and all that, and then I'll sort of make a statement.
Sure.
About the importance of the movie on pulp culture and all that. But let's get into the people who made the movie. Director, of course, is Steven Spielberg. This is one of his early movies. He wasn't really that well known at the time. He did a bunch of TV early on. He did one episode of Columbo.
See, I had a feeling.
Of course. I believe it was the Murder by the Book episode where a writer plans to kill his partner and then does in a really ingenious fashion, and he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that tenacious detective Columbo, of course, because Columbo cracks the case all the time.
No, that's fair.
If you're new to this podcast, I really fucking love Columbo.
No, with good reason. I mean, with good reason.
Anyway, then Steven Spielberg directed The Sugarland Express, which I believe was his movie before Jaws.
Okay.
He might have had one more before that, but I'm not sure. Anyway, then he directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I've seen but don't remember at all.
Also RichardDreyfuss.
It is RichardDreyfuss in that, isn't it?
Mashed Potato Mountain or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't remember anything about the movie either, honestly, but I remember that. I definitely remember that.
Well, then he also did Indiana Jones, all of them.
Yeah.
Which are great except for the Crystal Skull. Fuck that movie.
For real.
He directed E.T., which, honestly, I don't like that movie.
I do not remember a fucking thing about it, honestly.
I saw it when I was a kid, and I was just like, meh. And then I saw it again relatively recently as an adult, and I was like, meh. I just don't.
No, for real.
I don't care.
And
I don't give a shit.
Just a little side about E.T. There's a scene in Charlie's Angels where Drew Barrymore's character is like shot out of a window, like she gets shot and falls out of a window. And where she lands is like apparently the house where E.T., like they filmed E.T. or whatever.
Okay.
And I remember like they had that on the screen as a little bit of trivia, and I was like, I don't give a shit. Like I didn't even care about the trivia.
Yeah, I don't care.
So
I never liked that movie.
No, E.T.
I just you know what? Nah. Just nah.
I was more of a Gremlins kid than E.T.
Yeah, Gremlins. Gremlins was where it was at.
Yeah, man, for real.
I watched that movie a lot too.
Elliot can go fuck himself. Okay?
That's right. Fuck you, Elliot. Steven Spielberg directed a segment in the Twilight Zone movie.
Yeah.
Not the one where the actor was cut in half on accident by the helicopter.
Not at all, nope.
But we'll probably talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
He made The Color Purple. He directed a movie called Empire of the Sun, which is a phenomenal movie with John Malkovich and a very young Christian Bale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. If you haven't seen that, check it out. He directed Hook with Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams.
Yep. Awesome take on Peter Pan, by the way. Like
it was
really cool.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
No, yeah.
So it might have aged poorly.
No, it might have. Because basically, it's like Peter Pan just grew up and had kids of his own.
Yeah.
And so, like, Captain Hook comes back and like I said, the movie, and now, like, I think I'd have a much better appreciation for Julia Roberts in that Tinkerbell.
Possibly.
No.
The only thing I really remember about the episode is Rufio getting killed and being super sad. Because that was like, it's such a whimsical child's movie, and then Rufio gets stabbed in the chest, and I'm like, what?
What the hell was it with all those writers and filmmakers? They're like, you know what? It's too happy. These kids need death.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But that's what they did, and probably also explains a lot about us in adulthood.
For sure.
Anyway, Steven Spielberg directed Jurassic Park. Yeah. It's hilarious because he directed Jurassic Park and he directed The Lost World Jurassic Park, which was a sequel.
Yes.
But sandwiched in between those is fucking Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Like one of the saddest movies ever made.
I know.
Which is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
It's just weird that they're sandwiched in between these ridiculous dinosaur movies. So that's a bit of Steven Spielberg's range.
Fair.
And then he directed Amistad, which is another super heavy movie.
Yeah.
Then he directed Saving Private Ryan, which I don't really remember much of that movie other than Adam Goldberg's death scene, which still haunts me to this day. I will just randomly think about that.
No, for real.
Unprompted.
You know what? And you know what? Because he was in Dazed and Confused and shit. I fucking hate Adam Goldberg.
I don't like him that much either, but that death scene, it's just something about it.
It was horrific, dude. Sticks with you.
Yeah. Anyway, Spielberg also went on to do AI, artificial intelligence, which started out, if I remember correctly, as a Stanley Kubrick movie, and then Stanley Kubrick died.
I remember.
And so Spielberg finished it.
Okay.
I think that's accurate. I could be just making that up, but I think that's
you're
right.
About that. I think you're
that was a really weird movie.
I didn't watch it.
It's not bad. Haley Joel Osment is in it.
Yeah.
He plays like a robot, basically.
Yeah.
I believe Ministry makes a cameo in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a bizarre movie. I'll have to go back and rewatch it because I liked it when I saw it, but I don't really remember that much of it. Then he directed Minority Report with Tom Cruise, which was okay. He directed Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I liked that one.
Which was okay.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was just okay. He directed War of the Worlds, which I don't think I saw.
It was okay again.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, wasn't bad.
Yeah. He directed Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis, I think. Which I also didn't see.
I didn't see that
but apparently it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then he directed Ready Player One, which I did not care about and did not see.
Yeah, everybody was making such a huge deal because of all the nostalgia pieces in it and everything like that. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really care about this movie all that much. I
just didn't give a shit about the premise. And they were like, oh, there's all these 80s references. And I'm like,
cool.
Meh,
There's also YouTube.
Yeah. I'm like,
you know what I can do? I can go watch all of the commercials from the 80s on fucking YouTube. So.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and honestly, I watched Ready Player One, and it was okay. It just, again, a fucking formula. You know, there's a secret thing, and the kid finally realizes what the secret thing is.
Yeah, I just thought...
It's like, okay,
I just thought it wasn't going to be a very compelling movie,
no,
so
it was
I never
not.
saw it.
It was fun, but not in a compelling way.
All right. Well, and it's basically been forgotten about, so there you go.
For real. That's
sort of like
Avatar. Yeah, oh, yeah. Fucking Avatar. Oh, my God.
Anyways, that's Steven Spielberg's directorial body of work, or some of it.
Yeah.
He's done a lot more producing, too, but I didn't go into that because he didn't produce this, so nah. The writer of the movie, there's a couple writers, credited writers anyway. There's Peter Benchley, who actually wrote the book. He also wrote The Deep. He wrote a book called The Beast, which I've read, that was turned into a 2-part TV movie. That I also saw back in the day when it came out.
Was it all good?
I probably not.
Okay, fair.
I saw it when I was a kid. The only reason I remember being excited because it was a TV movie, but I saw that it was coming out because I had read the book, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, Peter Benchley, Jaws," blah blah. It was just some creature from the ocean. I don't care. He also wrote a book and subsequent TV miniseries called Creature, which I didn't see. Because I didn't know about it and didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
I think Peter Benchley sort of found a formula and stuck with it.
No, for real. I'm surprised they never tapped him to do a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon or anything.
I guess it would have made sense.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the other writer of the movie is Carl Gottlieb, who also did the writing on Jaws 2, The Jerk with Steve Martin, and Jaws 3D.
Sweet.
Which we will talk about before we get in the movie.
Because
before we go into the movie, I think we're going to do it during the Rotten Tomatoes segment because I want to briefly talk about the sequels that spawned out of Jaws.
Fair.
Because, wow.
Yeah.
Talk about shit in the bed. Anyway, the music in the movie is, of course, done by John Williams.
Yeah.
I think this is what really put him on the map. He had done a lot of TV before this. He'd done the music to the Poseidon Adventure, which is a really good movie, which has a cameo from Leslie Nielsen in it. He did a movie called Sugarland Express. I don't let that go to voicemail. He did a movie called Earthquake, The Towering Inferno. So he was big in the disaster movies. He did the music for all of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, man.
Because he's just that good. He's got the Jaws theme and the fucking Star Wars theme under his belt.
And I remember, dude, George Lucas talking about how he wanted, like, you know, he was like, I didn't want, like, you know, futuristic space music. I wanted, like, grand, like, you know, that style. What's the style? I'm trying to think. Orchestral.
Classical, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So, yeah.
Yeah. So John Williams is pretty much responsible for the two most iconic movie themes in history.
Fucking for real.
So there's that. He did the music for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws 2, Superman, which is another iconic score.
Man. No, for real.
All of the Indiana Jones, which again, also iconic.
Iconic.
E.T., which, okay, that music is less iconic as well. It's less iconic, yeah. The Witches of Eastwick, Empire of the Sun, Hook.
Oh, wow.
JFK, the one I think with Martin Sheen.
Okay.
Far and Away, that's the movie I believe that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman met on.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Wow.
Not the original Home Alone.
Yeah, that's
oddly enough. Jurassic Park, again, iconic.
For real.
Schindler's List, again, iconic, but to a much sadder extent.
Yeah. No, for real. People, people don't just put that in to listen to it.
No, not typically. I mean, it's gorgeous music, but that's not the kind of thing you want to just sit and relive all the time. Yeah. What are you doing tonight, Dustin? Oh, you know, nothing much. Have a nice dinner, pour myself a glass of wine, listen to the Schindler's List soundtrack while I cry myself to sleep.
No, for real, because you would, man. That's wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
He also did the Lost World Jurassic Park music, 7 Years in Tibet.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think I remember seeing. It's Brad Pitt, but I don't know.
I didn't watch it. I know I didn't.
Amistad, Saving Private Ryan, The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Oh, wow.
AI, War of the Worlds, Lincoln. And unfortunately, he's doing the music for what is currently known as Untitled Indiana Jones Project, which is filming.
Yes, awesome.
The one that fucking Harrison Ford already hurt himself doing. Yes. And they just started making the movie. I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe don't do any more Indiana Jones movies,
real.
Including this one.
No, I honestly...
The last one was bad enough.
No, and really, like, unless they're planning on just continuing the Crystal Skull story, I just don't want to see it, so...
Fuck you, Dustin.
How bad? Dude, you know what? Can I say, did you hate worse the way the alien looked in the end, or when the guy got carried away by the fire ants into the hole?
I hated most of all the fridge scene.
The fridge scene. That was fucking... Dude, okay, that happened right out the gate, basically, and I'm like, fucking really? This is what they're doing with this?
Yeah, no, so if you're not familiar with the movie, Indiana Jones finds himself in the middle of a nuclear test site.
Yeah.
I can't remember why or how. And so he hides in a fridge.
I remember how.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, fair.
He hides in a fridge and the bomb goes off, and instead of being incinerated with the rest of the town, the fridge is thrown, I don't know, 500 feet into the air and lands in the middle of the desert, and then he just crawls out unscathed. Which, even if he hadn't been incinerated and was thrown clear of the blast, landing from that height in a fridge would still have killed him. So
when the door opened, it would have been Indiana pudding inside.
Yes, exactly.
He wouldn't have not have been crawling out of the fucking thing.
That was the worst scene in the movie. The second worst scene in the movie is fucking Shia LaBeouf swinging through the jungle with monkeys.
Oh man, I loved it. No, honestly, because they, and on top of that, they utilized the monkeys in the scene to like help the heroes get further into their quest by helping defeat the bad guys. It's awful.
Yeah, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. So if you've never seen Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, don't. Yeah, just watch one of the other ones. Yeah, just watch one of the other ones instead. And probably don't watch this new one because I think it's going to be horrible.
And for the people that have watched it, go and watch it in reverse so you can unwatch it.
Anyway, that's the creative force behind the movie. Now getting to the stars of the movie. Number one is Roy Scheider, who plays Chief Martin Brody.
Yep.
Who, incidentally, is our Man Crush Monday today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I put the pictures of him up on our Instagram.
I need to set a reminder. is what I need to do.
You can just share the post I make.
You know what? I don't want to share. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Actually, I'll do that in a little bit.
Anyway, Roy Scheider has been in a lot of stuff. Not that much that's all that recognizable, to be honest. He was in The French Connection with Gene Hackman.
Yeah, man.
I think that's actually part of why he got this movie is because Steven Spielberg liked him in The French Connection.
Okay.
He was in Marathon Man. He was in Jaws 2. He was in The Still of the Night. He's in a movie called Romeo is Bleeding. He had a 3 or 4 year stint on the show Sequest 2032.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
With a young Jessica Alba, I believe.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I think I only saw like
Sequest?
1 or 2 episodes of that.
So, I don't know. I don't remember much either, but
anyway, the last thing I remember him in was The Punisher from 2004.
Okay.
He played Thomas Jane's dad.
I'm failing to recall that scene.
Well, it's the scene when the whole family gets slaughtered.
At the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just probably didn't notice him then at that point. Okay.
Yeah, no, well, he was a bit older in that movie. He's not with us anymore. I think he died about 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
But I've always liked Roy Scheider. Yeah. I'm sure he's in a bunch of stuff from the 70s that I just don't know. But Roy Scheider kind of has an effortless cool about him.
He does.
I've always thought that.
Yes, he
does. In the movie, his character is kind of dorky, or I don't want to say dorky, he's sort of inept, like a fish out of water almost.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is fitting to use that metaphor, I'd say.
No, for sure.
But we'll get into that in the movie. But yeah, Roy Scheider, you look at pictures of Roy Scheider from the 70s, it's like,
yeah,
that motherfucker was cool.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, 100%. Yeah. No, he was laying it.
Yeah. So I like him a lot in this movie. You know what's interesting about this movie too? There's no like superstars in it. Roy Scheider was kind of a name at the time, but he wasn't a huge leading man name.
Sure. For sure.
Everybody else in the movie, the only one that really went on to do anything else was RichardDreyfuss.
Yeah.
But before we talk about him, let's talk about Robert Shaw, who plays Quint.
Yep.
His career started in 1947.
Wow.
He was a British actor. He was in From Russia with Love, the Bond movie. He was in Battle of the Bulge. He was in The Sting with Robert Redford.
Oh, okay.
He was also in The Deep, which was another Peter Benchley thing. Yeah. I don't remember that movie very much. I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
I remember the cover.
Yeah.
I don't remember much else.
Robert Shaw was only in, I think The Deep might have been after Jaws, but he was only in a couple more movies because he died in 78.
Okay.
And this movie came out in 75. So
yeah.
He was already a pretty well-established actor when he did this, and he is easily the best actor in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
His monologue in the boat is the best monologue
awesome.
I've ever seen recorded.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's incredible. And I went back and forth on this one because I'm like, do I try and do a word for word on the episode, or do I just forget it because I'm going to butcher it? And you know what? I'm going to go for it.
I say you go for it.
And we're going to see how it goes.
Man, no,
I'm probably going to butcher it.
It's okay, though.
But we'll see.
You know what? Hey, you guys will go for it. If you're not going to go for it here,
when else am I going to have the chance to do the full Jaws monologue?
Exactly.
So we'll see. Hopefully I nail it.
You need to find a girl that's really into Jaws to find an open moment to even decide to do it. So
that's true. Anyway, so that's Robert Shaw. He's amazing in this movie, and we'll talk more about him as we go. That brings us to Richard Dreyfuss, who plays Matt Hooper.
I have a buddy that looks a lot like him, and we call him Richard Dreyfuss a lot. like an unusual amount. So
you know what? This is one of the only movies that Richard Dreyfuss has been in where he's not super annoying.
Yes,
and he's kind of annoying in this movie.
Yeah,
I think Richard Dreyfuss. Just even watching him do interviews in the making of, I'm like, I would not want to hang out with Richard Dreyfuss. He seems annoying as shit.
Exactly. No, for real.
But he's really good in this.
He is. No, he's awesome.
Anyway, Richard Dreyfuss was in Catch-22, the made-for-TV movie.
Okay.
Which I think I've probably seen because I really love that book. It's one of my favorite books, actually, by Joseph Heller, I think is the author. The movie is not very good. They did a limited run TV series on, I think it was Hulu.
Okay.
That was decent, but I don't know. The book's really good, though. If you never read Catch-22, do that because it's a really dryly funny book, kind of sarcastically funny book.
So it's more comedy?
Yeah, I mean it's a drama, but it's got like a dark underlying humor to it.
Cool.
Which probably explains why I like it so much,
for sure.
to be honest. Shouldn't come as a surprise, really. Richard Dreyfuss was in the movie Dillinger. He was in American Graffiti, which is a really good movie. He was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, as we'd mentioned. Yeah. He was the narrator in Stand By Me. Remember that movie? The four kids that go...
Yeah. It's, again, another movie that, like, the details... I'd have to go back and watch to remember.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a lot. I think that was a Stephen King adaptation.
Oh, my God. Jerry fucking Connell's in that, isn't he?
I think he is.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Fuck that movie. I'm never watching that movie.
Anyway, that brings us to my second favorite Richard Dreyfuss role as Dr. Leo Marvin in What About Bob with Bill Murray, which is a hysterical movie.
Dude, yeah. Bill Murray, man.
Only because of Bill Murray. Yeah. And Richard Dreyfuss is such a dick in the movie.
Yeah, no, for real.
But, like, it's justified, but nobody else sees it.
No, I know,
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's, and you know what the thing is, like, a lot of 90s movies had it where the dad was, like, always super annoyed, and the family's like, oh, he's just a nice guy, but, like, it's like, because they're not cleaning up the fucking mess ever,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Anyway, Richard Dreyfuss was also in Another Stakeout. He was in The American President, Mr. Holland's Opus, a movie called The Crew, which I never saw because it's about a bunch of old guys that do a heist.
I never watched it either.
He was in Poseidon, which I did not know. It's the remake of the Poseidon Adventure. Yeah. He was in the movie W.
Oh, okay.
About George W.
Yeah.
He was in Piranha 3D. He was in Red, which is actually a pretty good movie.
No, I like that a lot. That was a cool movie.
I didn't see the sequel, but he was in the first one. Yeah.
Not bad.
And then he did some TV and other movies. He's still working, but I just haven't. Nothing that he's done has been on my radar since.
Fair.
And really,
should it be?
He was in a really horrible movie called like Kippendorf's Tribe or something like that. Do you remember that movie?
God, with Jenna Elfman. Holy shit.
It's a terrible, terrible movie.
God, I can't. Okay, so like I remember he goes to stay with some indigenous people. I think
he basically makes up a tribe.
Yes, it was fake. That's what it was. Oh my God,
and like,
dude.
He's like, he paints his body up and pretends to be like the chief or whatever. It's terrible.
It's an awful look. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, Richard Dreyfuss, long career, but I just
not anything I really care that much about.
No, I love him in Jaws. I love him in What About Bob?
Yeah.
And then everything else is just kind of, it's Richard Dreyfuss. What are you going to do?
No, exactly. No, for real.
Then we come to Lorraine Gary, who plays Ellen Brody.
Okay.
She did mostly TV. She was in Jaws 2, as well as Jaws the Revenge, which is a terrible movie. She was in a movie called 1941, which I believe was the comedy with...
Had Jim Belushi in it? Or
John Belushi.
John Belushi, my bad.
Yeah.
John Belushi, man. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I believe so. Because I believe the girl at the start that goes swimming and gets killed, she was also in 1941.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the... I haven't seen this movie in forever. I need to go back and watch this.
I don't believe I've ever watched it.
It's funny. John Belushi's in it. Dan Aykroyd, Ned Beatty, Treat Williams. Well, Treat Williams is no fucking draw. John Candy's in it. Yeah, that's Robert Stack. Jesus.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and rewatch that. But yeah, she's in it. So it's a comedy about people who think the Japanese are invading. Okay. And it turns out to not be anything, but they freak out.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's her. She's really good in this. Then we come to Murray Hamilton, who plays Mayor Larry Vaughn. This guy is awesome.
He is.
He's a character actor, 159 acting credits from 1944 to 1986, which was the year that he passed. He was in The Graduate. He was in Jaws 2. He was in the Amityville Horror, also in 1941. He had a recurring role on BJ and the Bear, the TV show, and then, 150 some other things that I'm not intimately familiar with because they're old. But, dude, he's the perfect mayor in this movie.
No,
this movie's cast fucking amazing.
It is. It really is. No, you get that nice level of sleaze almost from his like delivery. I liked it.
One of my favorite parts about his character is that super gaudy, shitty fucking sports coat that he wears with the anchor prints all over it.
Yeah,
it's like the perfect gaudy, rich Northeasterner white person get up,
That is what the mayor of that area would wear.
Yes, absolutely. So those are the stars of the movie. There's a couple other people of note that we'll
Yeah.
talk about when we get there. Rotten Tomatoes score, 98%.
Really?
Yes, with an audience score of
That's
90%.
Fucking impressive.
I'd go 98, 99,
Yeah, no, for
maybe
sure.
even 100. I mean,
dude.
like I said, it's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
There's really only a couple scenes in the movie where I'm like,
Yeah, no, for real. But
But the
can't
rest,
get away from that ever.
yeah, exactly. But what I want to do something special
Okay.
because there's 4 Jaws movies, and in terms of Rotten Tomatoes score from start to finish, it's probably the largest point swing
Wow.
ever to exist.
Fair.
And only because you almost can't physically get any more. And I'll explain that as we go.
Oh my God.
So,
Okay.
so let's look at Jaws 2 from 1978.
Okay.
We got a tomato meter score of 59%, which then an audience score of 38%.
God.
And the audience score, I think, is a bit unfair. Jaws 2 is not a bad movie.
Okay.
It's just not terribly remarkable in any
Gotcha.
real way.
Gotcha.
I like because they follow Chief Brody, years after the shark thing, and he's all paranoid about sharks. So it sort of follows almost a PTSD type storyline where it's like still affecting his life. And so I always like horror movies where they show the aftermath of people who have survived the horror movie, and not just in the sense that like they get killed in the very opening of the next one, a la Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah.
But like where they're dealing with real world mental health consequences of what they went through.
Yep.
So I think Jaws 2 is probably the first movie to really do that.
Okay, nice.
That I can think of. So like I said, it's not a horrible movie. It's just not in the shadow of Jaws.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's just kind of meh.
Dude, okay.
You know what I mean?
That. Yeah. It's not Back to the Future 2,
No, it's not Back to the Future 2. Then we get to Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D from the year of my birth, 1983.
Okay, nice.
This gets a 12% on the tomato meter
Wow.
and a 17% on the audience score,
Gee.
which I think is fair. This is not a good movie.
Not a good movie at all?
Hey, have you seen it?
No.
It takes place in a water park, sort of similar to Sealand.
Okay.
Or SeaWorld, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's just really bad. Dennis Quaid is in it. Leah Thompson is in it.
Okay. Leah Thompson, I can see. Dennis Quaid. Wow.
Louis Gossett Jr. is in it. I mean, the
Oh my
cast is
gosh.
good.
Okay.
It's just not a very good movie. The effects are shitty. They capitalized on the early 80s 3D fad that was going on. So you'd get the 3D glasses to go see it in the theater. And there's scenes where like Jaws is coming out of the screen
that's
at you.
cool, yeah.
So, well, it's cool at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Friday the 13th Part 3. Like there's obvious scenes that only are there to facilitate the 3D shit.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of hokey. And the whole movie is just not very good.
Oh, that's fair. And when you said Dennis Quaid, I thought Randy Quaid, and I was like, no wonder.
Yeah,
this
no,
movie was so bad.
different Quaid.
Okay, yeah.
Different Quaid.
Yep.
That brings us to Jaws. Yeah. That brings us to Jaws the Revenge from 1987, which gets a whopping 0% on the tomato meter with a 15% audience score.
0.
Yes, you're talking about a 98-point swing from Jaws to Jaws 4.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's a horrible movie.
That is. That's...
The effects are terrible. The story is not very good. Somehow Michael Caine's in it.
Wow, really?
Yeah. But Mario Van Peebles is also in it, so they cancel each other out.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh my god,
it's a terrible movie.
You remember? You know what I remember the most from Mario Van Peebles is that stupid fucking Solo movie. And in the thing, they even have a moment where he's like Mike, like he wants to have Michael Jordan something. He's picking out his things, like his features or whatever. It's really
I don't know
odd.
what you're talking about.
You ever seen Solo?
No.
Oh my god, that it's bad. Sorry.
Anyway, yes. So Jaws: The Revenge is terrible. So Jaws is one of the best movies ever, and then the sequels just kind of shit the bed.
Yeah, really.
It's almost like they shouldn't have made them, and they were shitty cash grabs.
No, for real.
All of them.
No, for real. Because you could have done a lot. I mean, you had a successful movie from Spielberg. You could have very easily done a good sequel.
Well, like I said, Jaws 2 was not bad. It was just sort of unnecessary and meh. And then they just kind of got shittier after that. But yeah, Jaws: The Revenge is terrible.
Okay.
The whole premise is Ellen Brody is like the main character.
Okay.
And the whole thing is like, oh, the sharks come back for revenge on the family or whatever. It's because like in the opening scene, one of the youngest boy gets eaten.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, the sharks come back for revenge, which is why it's called Jaws the Revenge. It's a terrible, terrible movie.
Sounds really bad.
But a lot of the premise actually spawned the Jaws video game on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay.
Which I owned and beat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Jessica talked about, you had to, I don't know if it was a computer game she had with it, but she had to grab the scientists and like basically swim with them up there so you could put their like dead hand on the reader to get into the fucking next part of the lab or whatever.
For Jaws?
Yeah.
No, that was not the Nintendo game.
No. No, this was something different, but
yeah.
It was a Jaws game though. So.
Yeah, no, the Jaws Nintendo game was pretty fun.
Was it cool?
But at the end, like the way you killed Jaws is that there's a scene where you're like the front of a boat and you have to use strobing, so you're like this. They put this device in Jaws that shocks him or whatever, so when you hit the button, he pops out of the water. And you have to get it lined up just right where he pops out of the water, and then you can spear him with the front of the boat. Which is how they kill him in Jaws the Revenge, which is dumb as shit.
Yeah, that's bad. Wow.
Yeah, but that's how the video game ended.
Dear God.
Yeah, that's really terrible.
I've been playing retro games on Twitch lately.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta tell you, they had Beetlejuice able to jump 2 straight stories in that fucking video game. It was bizarre.
I've never played the Beetlejuice game.
It was not good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Beetlejuice is cool, but that was not fun.
So yeah, that's the sequel line for Jaws.
Fair.
They're all not good, but you have to appreciate Jaws for A, just how much of an amazing movie it is, and B, the impact that it had on pop culture.
Oh my God.
Because I don't think there's any other movie that has had as much of a recognizable impact on pop culture.
I don't think so either.
As Jaws. Star Wars is probably a close second.
Yeah.
But Jaws has a much broader reach, in my opinion.
Even the gag they use in Jaws is a gag they use to reference Jaws, basically, in other movies.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the impact that they had. You know?
But you had the land shark sketch on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, yep.
You've had the Jaws music be used in countless pop culture references.
100%.
One of my favorite Jaws references from pop culture of the years is from Family Guy when Peter's talking about his screenplay for Bigger Jaws.
Yeah.
And he's like, the humans in Jaws have to team up to catch bigger Jaws. But yeah, I mean, and this is 75, so the 45-year anniversary of Jaws was just last year.
Yeah.
And it's still like one of the most recognizable pieces ever.
No, for real.
And it still holds up.
It does, because, I watched it when I was younger, but I didn't remember anything about it. Rewatching it as an adult here, basically watching it fresh for the first time was like the fucking effects where the shark is actually getting people and shit. It's good. Really well done. And, especially 75, there's a lot of times where you're like, yeah, it was 75, so they kind of didn't have much. But this, like, you don't even have to make that excuse or anything. Yeah,
there's one scene where when the shark jumps up on the back of the boat, which is like, that's a little iffy.
Fair.
But the rest of it's really good.
For real.
And it's really good by accident. And we'll
really?
We'll talk about that as we go in the movie. Because if they had done the movie they intended, I think it would not hold up as well as it did. Yeah. And we'll get to that.
That's interesting.
Yes. But yeah, I love this movie. It's just a almost perfect movie.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's a couple scenes where I'm like, that was iffy. But it's beautifully acted. It's beautifully cast.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
It does.
The texture of the film is amazing.
The sound detail, even people walking into a room and stuff, like that caught my attention too, was how well the sound was done. This.
No, it's all really well done. So we'll get into that shortly. Kills are, I think, 5.
Okay.
Not that many, but the ones that are there are pretty powerful.
Yeah, man. No, for real.
To say the least.
Yeah.
And so, now that we're through that, we're going to slide on into a little bit of sexiness in a little segment that we like to call A Bit of the Ultra Thirst. Thirsty. Sexy. Hot. right, Dustin.
Okay.
3-1. Who are you sexiest in the movie? Who you got?
Number 3, I got the nurse that is on the wheeling the person down the hall.
The kid,
on the left.
yeah.
Yep. Wow.
You know what? Good choice. And she hadn't even been a consideration for me. But now that you say that, I'm like, yeah. That's because I already had mine locked. Because I already knew.
No, fair. I was going to say, you already had to have known, yes.
Yeah.
The runner-up, I will say, remember the guy that was talking to Chief Brody on the beach? He has like a freckled back. Chief Brody kept looking over him. I had his wife as a runner-up, but she kind of slid off as time went on. But number 2, I'm going to go Jenny from the beginning. The girl that glet pulled into the water. I believe Chrissy. She's like, oh, okay. See, I thought I wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. And let me tell you, I mean, I had rented it and I turned like the lights off in the bedroom like as a cinema and was watching it like I was trying to get like a full movie experience as much as I could in the bedroom. So I missed the name, but I put her down to number 2. Just an iconic woman, all over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 1, I put and I still didn't write down her name. Brody's wife, Chief Brody's wife, Ellen.
Yeah,
she came in as number 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. She did it for me, man.
I could see that.
Yeah.
She doesn't actually make my list.
She's not super gorgeous or anything, but
no, she's got sex appeal though.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so,
I see where you're coming from there. We have wildly different lists. Actually, I don't think. Well, my number 1's going to be Chrissy from the start.
Fair.
And we'll talk more about her in the opening scenes of the movie, but probably some of what crafted Little Adam's proclivities.
Yeah. No, for real.
Yes, I like her a lot.
Okay.
Number 2 for me is going to be the bandana girl on the beach that yells about the shark swimming into the pond.
You know what? She was there too. I
have always loved her.
Dude, yeah.
Even from a kid, I was like, something about that.
No, for real. No,
it might be the way her shirt hangs on her chest, but I don't know.
Yeah, man.
But she's nice. I like her a lot. For sure. Always have.
Yeah.
And number 3 is going to be my man crush Monday.
Fair.
Fucking Roy Scheider, man.
Fair. That's good. Yeah.
The dude's a handsome dude.
He is. No, he really is.
And like
he's got
I said,
a tan.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, effortless cool. Not in this movie, but just as, in general.
No, for sure.
Because they kind of goof him up a little bit in this.
No, a little bit, yeah.
Just because that's his character. But like me some Roy.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. You know what? That's a hell of a good list. I wish I could put Roy on there now. Damn it.
All right, that gets us through the Ultra Thirst, and that will take us into our first break. We're not quite an hour in yet.
That's cool.
It's going to be interesting to see how long this movie goes, because I've got 14 pages of notes, but I don't know how sidetracked we're going to get.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Could get very.
It could get very. I don't think we're going to go Die Hard long. That's the only episode where I've had to break into 2, because it was too long to fucking upload. But Die Hard was a lot more dialogue intensive. Yes. This movie is not as much. There's a lot of good dialogue in it, but not as much as Die Hard.
We still might get lost to see at it. With it.
All right. Well, we're just gonna go straight to break then.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. I tried to work in a water fund and it fucked up.
No, it was good.
Oh,
I just I just did that for dramatic effect. All right. Worked. We'll be right back. And we are back. So, let us get into the movie. Unless you want to say anything first, Dustin.
I gotta say, this, right out the gate, 3, iconic pop culture things. I mean, right out the fucking gate with this movie. Anyway, it just...
it starts pretty incredible.